Have you already checked our video on subject-verb agreement and the other basics of grammar? If yes, congratulations, because that is actually one of the most important preparations that you should make in order for you to come up with a good writing output. So after reviewing subject-verb agreement, as well as conciseness in writing, we are now ready to discuss coordination and subordination.
Coordination and subordination. Most effective sentences bring together two or more ideas that relate to one another by use of coordination and subordination. Coordination expresses equality. Two things that coordinate have roughly the same importance, the same rank, the same value. On the other hand, subordination expresses some sort of inequality. When one thing is subordinate or dependent upon another, it is in some way of lesser importance or rank or value. Now let's have coordination first. Coordination is joining of two or more words, phrases, or clauses of equal importance, rank, or value. A coordinate sentence is also known as compound sentence. It consists of grammatically equivalent independent clauses joined by a semicolon or a coordinating conjunction. So our examples given here are and, but, for, or, nor, yet. Coordinate to bring equal ideas together. Coordination allows you to bring equal parts of separate sentences together into single sentences by creating compound subjects, objects, modifiers, or whole predicates. By connecting them and putting them in same grammatical form, the ideas can be expressed more clearly and their equal importance is better emphasized. So we have here examples of sentences. Look at the first sentence. Princess wanted a new bag. She wanted a new pair of shoes. She couldn't afford them. There are three sentences there. But actually, we can put these three sentences in just one statement, like this. Princess wanted a new bag and a new pair of shoes, but couldn't afford them. Coordinate to show equal relationships. Coordination also allows you to express equal relationships among more complex ideas and information among a series of sentences. Look at the following sentences. He is successful in his career. He remains humble and kind. The sentences are actually descriptions of the subject, he. And if you study these descriptions, they show equal relationships. So we can put them together by using coordination. So the result is, he is successful in his career, but he remains humble and kind. So that is easier to read and understand. Avoid illogically coordinated sentences. When do we say that sentences are illogically coordinated? Coordination is illogical when ideas in the compounded independent clauses are not related. I repeat, when ideas in the compounded independent clauses are not related. So let's study the following sentences. Computers came into common use in 1980s and they sometimes make costly errors. Upon studying this sentence, we observe some illogical coordination. For example, the fact is given there that computers came into common use in 1980s. But the last part of the sentence is somehow not a logical continuation of that fact. It should be stated like this. Computers came into common use in the 1980s, but they have not been improved sufficiently to prevent occasional costly errors. So in that sentence, you can already understand the point of the speaker. Now, how about this sentence? John Keats wrote Ode to Nightingale and died of tuberculosis. This is considered faulty because of an illogical coordination. John Keats wrote Ode to Nightingale. Okay, that's the first fact. Another fact is, and died in tuberculosis. Do you think there's a logical relationship of the first part of the sentence to the second part of the sentence? I think it is better if we say it this way. John Keats wrote Ode to Nightingale, though his poems were in publication for only 4 years before he died of tuberculosis at the age of 25. Now let's have subordination. A sentence with some information subordinated contains an independent clause which stands on its own as a complete grammatical unit, and one or more phrases or clauses that cannot stand alone as a sentence, so-called a complex sentence. Subordination weaves elements together so that the main idea is featured in the main clause, and the other subordinate ideas or subordinating ideas are given in the subordinating clause or clauses. What information you choose to subordinate depends on what meaning you want a sentence to deliver. Adverb clauses are dependent clauses that start with subordinating conjunction. After, before, until, when, so that, although. When he was late, I was angry. That's a sample sentence using an adverb clause as a dependent clause. Put your main idea in the main clause. Subordinate other information. A sentence should express the main thought in a principal clause. Less important thoughts should be expressed in subordinate clause or clauses. Let's take a look at this example. This offset printing machine has been imported from Germany and it is easy to operate. I would say that there's a better way of saying that. This offset printing machine, which has been imported from Germany, is easy to operate. Observe that in this sentence, which has been imported from Germany is used. It used a subordinating clause. I waited for an hour when I decided to see the manager in his office. What do you mean by that? When I decided to see the manager in his office, I waited for an hour. The two parts of the sentence don't show a good relationship. I think it should be stated this way. Having waited for an hour, I decided to see the manager in his office. Choose the subordinating conjunction appropriate to your meaning. Subordinating conjunctions help in communicating the relationship between major and minor ideas in sentences. Now I have prepared here a list of subordinating conjunctions and the relationships they imply. So for example, if we mean time, we can use after, before, once, since, until, when, whenever, while. When you state a reason or cause, you may use as, because. When you state a reason or effect, we can use in order that, so that. When we want to express a condition, We can use if, even if, provided that, unless. When we want to express concession, like when we are granting something as a right or accepting something as true, or we acknowledge defeat, we can use although, even though, or whether. And if we want to express location, we use where or wherever. And if it is a choice, then we can say rather than, or whether. I have here an example. Before I submitted the film review, I checked the format first. The subordinating clause here before I submitted the film review talks about time. So it answers the question when. When did you check the format? Next one. My family continued to travel after our papers are complete. After our papers are complete. After signifies time. Okay, so be ready to study the sentences I am about to give you. I am going to show you sentences that are expressed differently, but actually they have the same idea. But if you look closely to the following sentences, each one conveys a different meaning due to the subordinating conjunction. So let's see how each one differed just because of the subordinating conjunction used. The first one, after you have submitted it, you cannot make any changes in the proceedings. That talks about time limit. So the subordinating conjunction used there is after, and it expresses a time limit. Now let's have the second sentence. Because you have submitted it, you cannot make any changes in the proceedings. The subordinating conjunction used in that sentence is because, and it expresses reason. So you see, I told you a while back, I'm going to give you sentences that have actually same idea or that root from the same idea, but just because of the subordinating conjunction, there is already a difference in their meanings. Another sentence. Unless you have submitted it, you cannot make any changes in the proceedings. Now look, unless is the subordinating conjunction here, and it expresses a condition. So what is the condition? You cannot make any changes in the proceeding, but there is a condition. It is if you have submitted it. Next, although you have submitted it, you can make any changes in the proceedings. So the subordinating conjunction used in this sentence is although, and it implies concession. The last sentence is you can make any changes in the proceedings so that I can evaluate it. So is used as a subordinating conjunction, and it states a purpose. So in those 5 sentences, each one of them gave a different meaning just because of the use of subordinating conjunction. So the next thing that you have to remember is avoid illogical subordination. So if we have to avoid illogical coordination, same is true with subordination. We have to avoid illogical subordination too. Subordination is illogical when the subordinating conjunction does not make clear relationship between the independent and dependent clause. Look at this example. Because Milton was blind when he wrote it, his Paradise Lost is considered to be his masterpiece. Really? Is it because he was blind when he wrote it that Paradise Lost was considered as a masterpiece? So that sentence doesn't give the intended meaning. It has to be stated this way. Although Milton was blind when he wrote it, his Paradise Lost is considered to be his masterpiece. So the right subordinating conjunction is although, not because. Now we'll have to discuss about the appropriate use of coordination and subordination. The first thing that we have to consider is you have to avoid overusing subordination. Too many images or ideas may crowd together, confusing readers and making them lose track of the message. Try to keep the length of the sentence short as far as possible by using not more than one or two subordinating conjunctions or relative pronouns in a sentence. And take note, there is a greater risk of grammar error in longer sentences. More words, more chances of having grammatical errors. Excessive coordination is misleading at times. A series of short, simple sentences or very similar structure will give all your facts and ideas equal weight and importance. That is why I said excessive coordination is also misleading at times. And always remember, appropriate use of coordination and subordination should be made by carefully examining which ideas are important and which are minor, reworking them into simple, compound, and complex sentences. Before I say goodbye, I have prepared here sample sentences which you can work on as your exercise for this topic. It says there, rewrite the following sentences, improving the structure of each. So the first one is, I visited the place where many freedom fighters lost their lives during the summer holidays. Number 2, he gave the novel to his friend that he had borrowed from me. Number 3, the judge had no alternative but to impose a penalty on the accused, and this penalty was the announcement of 4 months imprisonment. Number 4, this brand of shoes is good, if not better than the brand that you're already using. Number 5, there was a power breakdown in the city which caused great inconvenience to the citizens, and it was suspected to be an act of sabotage. Number 6, he is one of the wisest, if not the wisest, man that I know. Number 7, I always do my work in time like you do. Number 8, I think it will do you good by taking tea without sugar. And number 9, I visited Boracay. It was during summer holidays. I had to attend the marriage of my sister. And the last item, he is not a sincere man but also works hard. If you want to check if your answers are correct, you can send me an email.
Thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed yet, please click subscribe and hit the notification bell. Kindly click our playlist for more videos on basic English grammar, technical writing, and effective writing and literature. God bless!